You guys want to know a very cringe fact about myself, though? So, for those of you that remember my conversation when I played Terraria with Shy Lily, right? I talked about my, like, how I discovered porn, right? And one of the things I did as a kid, because I didn't have a phone back then, right? And I used to find like random, like, oh, this is a hot guy, right? Like these hot anime boys, right? I would like me as a 11, 10-year-old or whatever, I would print it out on the family printer and I would fold up those photos, all the porn photos I found, hid it inside my book, right? I specifically remember what book it was. It was the Magic Treehouse series. I hid all of those photos inside one of the Magic Treehouse books I had, right? And anytime I wanted to like look at it and like feel something, like, ooh, that's like nice to look at, I would open up that book when my mom wasn't around, right? And she thinks I'm just reading something and just look at it. And I remember there's this specific picture that I was like really tantalized by. It was like a cat, and guess what? It was a fucking cat boy, right? It was a goddamn cat boy that got me. Yaoi in your childhood books? I just stored it in there because my mom would not look into those. Of course. What do you mean, of course? Dude, that's how my cat boy addiction started. That was the catalyst for everything to happen in the 2020s years. Were they naked? Well, some of them were. Yeah, some of them had pee-pee showing. I was like, wow, I like that, right? And I was like 9 or 10 years old, right? I was just... Sometimes you just stumble upon this shit, right? And when you have unfiltered and unsupervised internet access, you find that shit, right? But man, I'm still thinking how crazy I was. Like, the efforts I went through to goon as a kid, right? Involved like so much. Oh my god, I feel like I should talk about it all one day. Like, it's so fucking insane, right? Because I went through such hoops and ladders, even going as far as to uninstall my mom's like parental security thing on my laptop just so I could access those sites, because they would block me from going to some of those sites, right? But then I found out a way to, like, you know, uninstall it, because usually you're not allowed to uninstall it unless you have the password for the system. But then I found out another way to do it, right? It was like, okay, it's crazy. That's wild. I know, right? I'm thinking back to like Shoto when he was a menace. I mean, you still are a menace, dude, but god, I was crazy. I wanted my yaoi, and nothing was going to stop me from getting my hands on my gay porn. I don't know. You really haven't changed. I don't know what do you mean. If anything, right? You know, the only thing that's changed is that you guys have very kindly provided me with like an income, right? Which I can use some of that to supply me with like a lot of not safe for work commissions. That makes me very happy, and I like to support artists too. So I tend to you know, if I'm feeling like, yeah, I gotta treat myself. Some people go out and have dinners with their friends to treat themselves. Some people go out to clubs on the weekends to treat themselves. Some people order ice cream, and some others like buy that plushie that they've always wanted to treat themselves. I, on the other hand, commission a not safe for work artist to draw gay sex of my OCs because I like that a lot. That's my favorite way to spend my expendable income whenever I can, and when I can afford to. Or just not even just that. Like, sometimes I just want, like, you know, cute art of my OCs and stuff. So yeah, that was a bit of lore drop for you. My past gooning activities. So now, you know the thing that sucks, all right? Back to what I was talking about. I can't look at the Magic Treehouse series books without thinking of me storing pictures upon pictures, printed out pictures of, like, you know, anime cat boys getting railed inside the pages. Like, I don't even remember what the book series was about. I think it's like the Magic Treehouse transported them to like different places or whatever. It's like adventures. Wow, it's like a wild children's story and stuff like that. And like, it's so magical and fun. And then, like, you know, in between the pages, I would just like pull out, yoink, like, you know, my stash. And you know what the worst part about this is, guys? I'm gonna be completely honest here. There was a time back in 2014, 2015, I'd say, I had a big book collection, right? I had a lot of books. Eventually, I had to clean out my room and move to like my sister's old room when she wasn't there anymore, right? Which is a bigger room. My mom said, "Oh, I'm gonna take all these books that you have and put it on the family bookshelf downstairs in the family room," right? And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." And I realized like a year later, it clicked with me. I'm like, wait, I just remembered what I put in some of those books, right? And then I go down there and check the family bookshelf, right? Sometime in 2016, I believe, right? And just to make, because I forgot about it. I don't know what happened. Sometimes, dude, I went through puberty and I was just like, I too much was going on in like middle school and high school. I was going through like the Magic Treehouse series books, right? Because I knew, because she had it there, like all of my collection in like one of those spots, right? Because it looked nice. I looked through all the books. The photos weren't there. My stash was gone. Guess who found out about it? Probably my mom. Maybe she always knew. She knew really early on. Just didn't say anything. She found my porn, bro. She found my porn in my books and threw it away and never said a word to me. Maybe it wasn't surprising when I had that talk with her the one time. I was like, "Hey mom, what if I, like men and women?" And then she was like in denial about it for a bit, and then she was like going through her acceptance phase, and I was like, "Oh fuck, wait." She took that pretty well. I remember when we had that convo. I'm like, why did she take that so well? And why did my dad take that so well too when I talked about it with him? And I realized, oh, they probably knew all along from that and like other things too. She saw the signs. Dude, parents just know, I guess, right? I feel like parents just always know if they're good parents, I guess, or like very observant parents. Maybe not good parents, but they just very active in seeing what you're up to. Then they'll like pick up on that shit. Maybe it's a phase. I just thought about the fucking homophobic dog saying, "Let's just hope it's a phase." When you said that, dude. Come on. But I think genuinely my dad was hoping, let's hope it's just a phase the whole time. I know my dad felt that way. My mom though, that's a different story. Anyways, yeah, that's my lore drop of the week. You guys got to know a little bit about my gooner self. I went through crazy shit to get my porn, guys. I wanted that stuff. I was like, ooh, you can't get between me and my yaoi. I will go through any lengths to get it in my grubby little hands, all right?